Okay, people, we out here. So I got rain coming. Uh, 3 days of it. I know Saturday. Today Friday. Saturday is one of them days that the rain is coming. Uh, but I wanted to come out here. I don't have a ton to show y'all, but I'm gonna kind of walk through and talk to y'all at least about a little bit of stuff. So if you remember before, I talked about these tire beds before. Now these aren't true hugelkulturs. Like when you think about somebody putting wood or sticks at the bottom and then leaves or paper, cardboard, whatever, and then soil on top. These aren't a true hugelkultur like that, but they are filled with, it says topsoil in the store. It's a bag, you know, the bags you buy, it says topsoil, but that's really just wood chips. When you open it up and get it out, you'll see that it's pretty much just small wood chips that be pretty fine. Now, do they compost down? Yeah, they do. They make really, really pretty soil. That's why I tell you to get that. It's one of the cheapest things you can get at the big box store. So these tires around the edge of these are my newest. This is my newest. I've been planting here, but I actually defined the planting area. So these are my newest beds here. And they are all filled with cocoa coir and the topsoil. Some of them got more topsoil in them than anything. Y'all remember before when I was telling you that these little seedlings and stuff was bleached out and they were struggling because this the reason they tell you really you shouldn't plant in a hugelkultur the first year, or you shouldn't plant in straight wood chips the first year. Wood chips have a tendency to bind nitrogen. They bind nitrogen very, very well. And I'm gonna touch on the sweet potatoes about that nitrogen binding in just a second. But remember I showed y'all those plants were kind of bleached out, and then I fertilized them, and then you could see, number one, the plants start to take off. Number two, they stop being as bleached out. You can plant in wood chips, y'all. You just have to fertilize it more. You have to amend it more. The next year you shouldn't have to, but that first year while it's binding all that nitrogen, and it's the breaking down is not bad for the plant. It's just the plant can't get all the nitrogen it wants because the wood wants to use that nitrogen to compost down. You see what I'm saying? Because the wood is carbon, so that carbon and that nitrogen want to get together and break those wood chips down instead of letting your plants have it. See what I'm saying? So you have to put, especially nitrogen, put a little more in there so that your plants have something to get, but the wood chips still break down. But let's look at these plants now. And don't look at this. These is poke seeds that I'm letting I got a lot of the liquid off of them, but I'm gonna let them dry out and do their thing. But anyway, so this was a little baby basil that it just shot up, and this is uvula, so is that one. But look at these pepper plants, these little plants. Now these probably are not going to get big enough to make no peppers, but what I am probably gonna do is dig them out of there and put them in a greenhouse and try to keep them over. See right here, I left one of those leaves on there. You see how green these are, and these are kind of lighter. This is a uvula here. It look like it's trying to put on a bud, like it's getting ready to do something. This pepper over here, y'all, I just fertilized again, so y'all bear with me. But this one actually kind of took off kind of good. This one got a decent size too. Y'all see the celosia got big. These peppers still struggling. They the most in the shade, and those were the weakest peppers I had from jump. But they trying to do a little something. They are putting on some leaves, but now those I'm not gonna save. Some that little I'm not gonna save. But you can see this is some of the bleached out leaves, and then look at this. So what I'm gonna do is come in here. Remember when I told you can manipulate your plants? By me taking those leaves off, that plant is gonna have a response to where it's gonna want to put on some more leaves. Here go a tomato. Some of those get stuff. Now this one still look like trash, but look how good that one looks. Here's some more of those get stuff tomatoes. This one still don't look that good. That one looks okay. I got some stuff. Okay, I think, yeah, these are the beets coming up. So I do have some, I have to pay attention. I see some beets coming up in there. After this rain, the beets may really come up. This tomato right here actually looks pretty good. This one looks okay too. I'm gonna pinch this leaf off. Those I may try to save, and then it's nothing but a celosia in there. And then also I'm probably gonna plant some When we get 2-3 day rain like this, I love to plant stuff to start replacing some of my other stuff, because the rain will go ahead and make those seeds germinate. Basically, I don't have to come out here and water and be mindful about watering for 2-3 days. The nature will do it for me. I got a whole, you know what? I ain't gonna worry with those peas. I was gonna plant some of those. Remember I saved seeds from those peas that I told y'all I had been trying to get the Tepper-1. I saved a whole bunch of seeds, and y'all don't say nothing about my little seed saving. So all of this is Roselle, y'all. So I got a bunch of radishes in here. I may sow those. Then I got a bunch of don't look at that cicada. That's the shell. It fell in there. I got a bunch of mustard seeds right there, but all this is Tepper-1, and then a couple of these bigger ones, like this one. That's not Tepper-1. That's night, I think. Peas. I'm not gonna sow those. I'm gonna wait till the spring and sow those. That's the way I'm gonna do that. That's the way I'm gonna do that. Okay. So I slung a bunch more fertilizer. I just got through slanging fertilizer. That rain is gonna rain that in real good. Something else I got to do today. I've been picking peas every day now. Cause see, just like this here. Come here. That one ain't very long. These two are longer. Here's another one. Let's see here. Here's another. And I want to say this right quick. Some people don't know. I'm trying to decide, am I going to show you over here? Yeah, I'll show you over here. People want to know when to pick their peas. You can pick your peas just like peppers. And I'm talking about cow peas. Cow peas. I'm sure the same goes for sugar snap type peas, but for this demonstration, I'm talking about cow peas. You can pick your cow peas at any point in time. Just like, see these little bitty baby, you can pick these like this. They say people pick them like this and eat them like green beans. Let me tell y'all something. I tried that. That ain't for me. I can't handle that. I don't like the taste of it. They don't taste nothing like green bean. I don't know. I didn't like it. You can pick them at this side and use them like green beans. But the way I generally do mine, because I don't like fighting with all that shelling, I get mine when they done started to dry up. Please do not think that if your peas dry on here that they are no good. Y'all, we go to the grocery store and they have black-eyed peas, which are cow peas. They have crowder peas, which are cow peas, in the store, dried up, and you do what with them? Go home and cook them. And a damn thing wrong with them. I don't know. Somebody was online talking about if you let them dry up on the thing, they ruin. I don't know where these people get this information. But you can pick them at any point. But most people, including my family, which this is what I do. When my family do stuff, I evaluate what they did. And if that person's still living, I ask them why are they doing it that way. And then I say to myself, does that make sense in my predicament to do that? Does it make sense for me to do that? But most people, you're going to see them pick them at kind of this stage here. When they're good and fat and plump, but they're still green. And you can kind of see the bumps in them. You can see the peas. Like see this here? You can see the bumps in the peas. That's how most people picks them still while they're green. This is a real good example. See how you can see those bumps? You can see where the individual peas are. Like I said, I don't do that. I wait till mine are this color. Why do I do that? Unless you got a pea sheller. When you shelling them green ass peas like that, y'all tell me, is that an enjoyable process? And if you've never shelled peas, ask somebody, is that an enjoyable process to be setting up shelling them green peas like that? And when you get through, your thumb be green and so, you know what I mean? I ain't got time for that. I showed me shelling peas that are in this stage, already somewhat dry. You pop these shells open, the peas jump out. It's so much easier. And then not only that, when you shell green peas, you're going to have to do one or two things. You either going to have to go in the house and cook them and can them right then, or you are going to have to wait for them to dry in order to save them for storage. Now, do what you please. Do what you please. I prefer to store my peas as dry storage because they're just like what you buy in the store. To me, when you cook these peas and they're green, they don't taste no different than when they don't taste any different. The only thing is they cook a little faster. When they're green, since they're already hydrated and full of water, they cook faster. They don't taste no different. They just cook faster. Okay, well, now if I'm going to cook some that day or whatever, I may pick a bunch of them green. But like I said, it's shelling process. I don't care nothing for it. But let me show y'all something. When you shell them, I already dry like this. See there? You put in a jar, put your lid on there, and you can store them. Dry storage requires no refrigeration, requires no canning processes right at that moment. You still can can those peas if you like. So you can use them and pick them however you want. It ain't rocket science. Some people like to get all off into that and think, oh, they ruined. Another reason I pick mine the way I pick mine is because when they're go in my pocket and pull out. Now these are Lady Cream Pea now. Let me turn this camera. Ain't about a lot of die. So these are Lady Cream Pea. The pod will get cream. Most of these peas, if it's in the name, like if it say purple hull pea, that means your hull will get purple. I do not have, supposedly when you're supposed to pick them, the hulls start to turn purple. I do not have purple hull peas out here, but I got some similar. These right here. Can y'all see these Burkina Faso? These technically, how did it get? Oh, the leaf touched it, okay. These technically are ready because that pod has turned that pretty color. It said it ready, you can pick them then. Purple hull peas will kind of do something like this, start turning a little purple on you, and then they'll turn all the way. But even these I don't pick like this. I want because I'm going to say some of my peas is going to be my seeds for next year. I want them all the way mature before I pull them off of here because I want to make sure I got a good germination rate on my seeds. Now, you can leave certain ones. If you want to pick whatever you're going to eat green, pick it green, and then leave you a few pods on there to dry up. And then those be your seeds. You can do that. But if you're going to save seeds, and I recommend you save seeds, please be cognizant of that you want to try your best to try to get mature seed pods, preferably that's dried up on here. You pick a lot of them green. A lot of time with peas, they will still germinate, but you don't want to take a chance. If you pick them all green and then you fool around and come back and then you try to go back and plant them next season and don't none of them come up, or when they come up, your plants don't look. There's two of them way up there. I got to get on the ladder to get. You know what I mean? You just don't want to. Let me tickle this tomato. I need you to set fruit. Look at this one. Ain't that pretty? That's a pretty tomato there, boy. Real pretty. Anyway, so that's that on the peas. I believe I done covered everything I want to cover on the peas to let people know when, how, you know, the thought process behind them. Because so many people tell you things and you sit up and believe that stuff, and that stuff and it don't mount up to a hill of beans. Look at this here. The peppers and steadily blooming. Steadily bloom. I mean, just blooms all over, but that ain't what I came over here and show y'all. I come over here and show y'all this. This is a LaRouge pepper. And you know what's funny about these? Some of them curl up like this here. Because I'm going to get all these and turn red on me. I wanted them to be red. Once again, I want those pepper seeds to be mature. I want to grow these again. I'm not going to say this to be the only sweet pepper because I like this one and Pippin's Golden Honey. Those are my favorites. I'm not saying that's the only sweet pepper I will grow, but I do really like this one. But some of them will grow like this, and they do get bigger than this. And then some of them will curl up like this. But you think I care anything about that? That pepper's still going to be good to eat. He going to eat just fine. And over here, these here went back to bloom. Find another flower right up in there. These here went back to blooming. And I'm just happy to see that. This hasn't been getting any damage. I don't know if they know that this is over here, but I sure been checking and see. I don't see no damage. I see tomatoes. I've been getting leaf-footed bugs. There's 2 of them over there. I saw a while ago. I got to go get. The beans are looking pretty good right here. But y'all, I just been pushing on and foraging on. I got a bunch of roselle I'm gonna harvest. And like I said, as I walk through this plant don't look that good. But hell, I still get something off of it every day. But this may be the last little go round because I don't even see no more pods on there. That one I just picked, that'll be the last one. Let me go back here. Show y'all back here. We have 16 minutes. I'm gonna hurry up, y'all. I've been posting a whole lot because I ain't had a whole lot to show really. I mean, I've been out here, but I just been maintaining and making sure everything is all right and making sure ain't nothing eating my stuff up. But I slung fertilizer back here, and you can tell these strawberries really like this time of year. I lost a lot of them strawberries, y'all. I'm telling you. Strawberries, they just don't really like. I lost a lot of them over there. But hopefully those will spread out. I still got some left. And I did throw some seeds down here. So instead of me cold stratifying in the house, I ain't got time for all that. I throw my seeds down in both of them, here and over there. And hopefully those little plants will come up in the spring. Or whenever they choose to come up. And hopefully they choose to come up at an advantageous time and they live and make it. I slung a whole bunch of fertilizer down in here. This cotton here don't look worth a damn. It look like that sucker we're gonna try to die on out on me, but that's okay. I got this here and I got that one over there. And it just got through flowering not too long ago. And it's got one gonna open up right there. But like I said, I ain't worried about it. I got access to seeds or what have you. The guava started to put on growth, all 3 of them. That one, see how it branched? And my pigeon peas is still got pigeon peas on them. Now, this ain't my final verdict on these pigeon peas. Let me tell you something. If you live in zones 8 and 9, I know 8 for sure because I live in zone 8, but I recollect 9 because that's where Go Grow. She live in 9 something, 9A or something. Y'all know that when you grow pigeon pea, a lot of time you get your tree to a decent size and it'll start making blooms like this here in doggone it December. And you know, basically, you'll get your little flowers, it'll make peas, but it'll be growing so doggone slow, you won't never get no peas because the frost will come and kill it unless you protect your stuff. And a lot of people plant their pigeon peas outside. Y'all, these pigeon peas do a little bit better with some sunlight. Now, these grow back in the shade. I think, which I may try to do, because I may try to dig these up and save them, is that way I want to start over next year. I think if you plant these suckers in the sun, which I may plant them up by my house, because I don't think the roots would be too invasive, and these don't make such a big tree. I may try to plant some suckers up in the front and see what they do. And see if they got more sunlight, if they make more peas. But y'all, these things, I done harvested a few times off these suckers, and you see, they got pigeon peas on them right now. And look at all these blooms. I just got some off, look at all them blooms there. And I got all these off, and it's green, it's starting to get some new growth right there. This right here, I'm starting to get some new growth, but there's gonna be some pigeon peas there. Y'all, these here pigeon peas, these improved short season. I forget what they call them. They're like a short season pigeon pea. I swear, I promise you. Because this is the first time I've ever gotten pigeon peas. And I've been harvesting off them suckers for 2 months. A solid 2 months. And I probably been harvesting more than that if I had planted them out in the open. Like, for instance, I may plant them over there. I may plant them over there, somewhere over there. I may. Because, like I said, the tree don't get that big. Pigeon peas ain't like oaks and things like they get huge. They a small, kind of shrubby kind of tree. But you see here, these are the little LaRouge too. Now, it took a while for these back here to go to making, see, it got pepper on. It took a little while for these back here to go to making peppers, but that's because they went a little bit more of a shady location. Those also were my more stunted plants. But look here, they making. Let me try to open this up where y'all can see. See all them buds in there? So, they doing their thug thizzle now. They doing their thug thizzle, and everything else looks pretty good. The basil right there looks good, the Genovese basil. I cut some off of it, and I cut a lot off of it, and it sprung back. I may cut some more off of it before this rain, and then that rain may push some more growth, because I did throw some fertilizer down in there. I have stuff back here like I see these uvillas trying to make some flower. I don't know. I want to get at least one uvilla. See what they like. See, look, they're in the tomatillo family, ground cherry family. But look at how big the flowers are. This is one. It's been struggling. That sucker. It needed so much water. And then remember all of those garden huckleberries I planted. Nyama. Here they go here. Here they go here. Here they go here. This is really, so this garden huckleberry is really like a tiny, here goes some. There goes some black there. So I can be able to save the seeds. That's really like a little eggplant. That's really what that is. It's a tiny little eggplant. If you look at those flowers, you can tell. It's a tiny little eggplant, which makes sense to me why in Africa they eat the leaves of the nyame or the garden huckleberry. Because in Africa, I'm not saying they don't eat the eggplant, they do. But it's specific eggplants that they grow, and they particularly cook and eat those leaves off of there, okay? So I'm glad that finally something come up, because out of all the ones I sold, that's the only one come up and gonna produce it. I'm gonna do my damnedest to save whatever little seeds, whatever, because whatever seeds I save, they ought to be good and fresh, or plant it next year and get me some big old plants, because I want to try some of that stuff, eat some of that stuff. They be cooking that stuff, make it look so good. So I've got to try that. Like I said, the bananas looking pretty good. And right about now, y'all, I'm thinking about every which way of what I can do to protect my my bananas. Y'all know I'm talking about stuff I can't move, stuff I got to stay, but I got to, you know. But anyhow, even this pepper, I had put a pepper in here and it didn't look worth a nickel. That sucker, I put fertilizer and stuff and went to watering it regularly and stuff. Cool off some, look like it's gonna try to get my pepper. That's a LaRouge, okay? The elderberry, it's finna go on night. It's finna go on night. Let me go back here and check on my starts. So before this rain come, y'all know I got these starts down in this tray. It's gonna rain 2 or 3 days. I can't leave these starts down in this tray. I got to put these starts. I think I'm gonna put on the chase line. I believe I got enough room. I think I got enough room up there. I'm gonna take all these out of the trays so that when it rains, because if it rains and I got them sitting in the trays, the water just sits in there and they just sit in water. And I don't want my starts to drown, because I'm not gonna come out here and, and be emptying out water. So what I'm gonna do is, the rain supposed to start tomorrow. I'm gonna get these suckers up out of here. Come on. cooperate. And I'm gonna put all 4 trays up here, I believe. I believe that's what I'm gonna do. Okay? And do be careful. You don't wanna smash your stuff. But the starts are looking, come on now. The starts are looking okay, y'all. They're looking okay. They could look a lot worse. I ain't really got room right there, but I got a Chase Lounge over there. Or for this one, what I may just do is just set it out here. And then all these trays, and to be real with y'all, I don't recommend them trays. The sun get to them and they deform on you. Look at that. Y'all see how that deform? I don't recommend none of that. Oh, excuse me, I'm going to cut. Foil pans. The foil pan don't look as good, but hell, they work good and they last. I mean, I don't see how you can tab a foil pan unless you run it down with your car. I don't see how you, cause poking some holes in it. I've been using some of these foil pans. Them big ones I've been using 3 or 4 years. Look at that. And them foil pans to me work better. Now, is they as convenient, the individual cells and all that? No. But I ain't got time, because them things, I'm probably going to get 1 more year out of them things. I'm probably going to throw them in the garbage. And these are kind of deformed. Look here. Sun make that plastic turn up on you. Stuff ain't worth a nickel. Ain't worth a nickel. I got to be careful over here. It's ants over here. But see, that's how you end up with peas growing. Y'all saw that one jump out of there? I have to be careful because it's ants on some of these. And they will bite you. Like I told y'all, remember what I told y'all about these peas? At the little joints where those flowers be made, nectar comes out of here. That is a, I don't want to say adaptation, but that is a feature of these cowpea plants that they, right where the flower come out at, I'm gonna point to you and show you. Look at it. Look at them big old. Y'all see them big old what you call them, ant? It won't even focus. But it's some big old ants on there. Look at that. Right at those nodes, nectar comes out of there. Ants like that nectar. Wasps like that nectar. But let me tell you how it's intended to work. When it make that nectar like that, different pollinators will be drawn to that part of the plant. That includes anything with wings, like wasps and bees and things. And when they are drawn to that part of the plant, when they get ready to fly off or when they land, their wings is flapping, right? Because they're flying. They're shaking that plant and it's shaking that pollen up in that flower. I see some more. It's shaking that pollen up in that flower and it's pollinating. A pea flower, come on now. A pea flower, I got to be careful. Like I said, these ants, I got to pay attention. Because some ants will have their way with you. A pea flower, everything is internal on the flower. It just needs a little vibration. It's just like a tomato flower. Everything is internal on a tomato flower. Just needs a little vibration and it will get pollinated on the inside. Same thing with those. So nature is very miraculous if you think about the way things are made and how in nature that, you know, that plant would naturally do that, draw pollinators to it. The pollinators get to benefit from the nectar and the peas get pollinated and they get to go on and produce another generation of plants. So when you see wasps and things all over your cowpeas, and aphids too, that's why aphids, you grow cowpeas, you probably gonna have aphids, because if you're feeding your peas enough to get good yields, they're gonna produce a lot of that nectar, and those aphids love that nectar. And I've talked before about how people automatically say the ants are bringing them up there. Not necessarily. Those had no aphid, but you saw the ants, right? That's proof to concept. So we have to pay attention in the garden and not just spread foolishness. Just because you always see it the same way, You'll be telling somebody how to do something, and it may not be that way where they are. See what I'm saying? So you have to cover all your bases. It may not always be always the same. Look. Y'all see the gang member? Do y'all see the gang member? So with that being said, it's been 30 minutes. Let me show you what I'm finna get for they ass. Hold on, let me go right around the corner. Cause my 7 I sprayed up all my 7 yesterday. But I got something for they ass. Cause guess what? I found 4 big grown ass harlequin bugs. But I got they ass. So I got this don't look soapy, but it got soap in it. I got my soapy water. And I believe I'm gonna knock these suckers down in there before they tear my tomatoes up. And I'm gonna let them suckers swim to their death. And I may sit out here and watch them. But until their demise, I'll see you guys later.